Hi team, welcome to my channel and my first ever reading vlog. This is very hot. Okay, so here we go team. First reading vlog that has ever existed. Get ready for a wild ride. So, I don't know how to do the reading vlog, but we are gonna do it together. And how adorable is my mug? Still very, very hot. Okay, so basically my plans for the next 3 days is to do a ton of reading and maybe some writing because it's just gonna be me in my house. So first off, I'd like to update you guys on what I am reading. So currently I am reading The Sisters Grimm by Mene van Praag. It's an art by NetGalley. It's coming out on the 6th of February. I'll put a little video picture. Putting a picture of it here. The Sisters Grimm is a multi-pov urban fantasy book that is sort of set surrounding these 4 girls, and it's all about choosing between good and evil. And I'm like, I like parts of it. I am not sure what my final rating is going to be like, but hopefully I'm going to take you guys along for that so I can tell you, because that's what other people do in vlogs, right? My January TBR went out in the middle of the window because NetGalley suddenly decided to give me a ton of books that I am allowed to review, which I'm very excited about, but I really need to make like friends with like publishers in real life, so they will send me physical ARCs because I cannot keep reading on my phone. But these are 3 books that are currently on my January TBR. It is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell, which is the sequel to Carry On with it, and it's the beautiful Waterstone edition with this like beautiful thing. However, why is it white up here and white down here? Why are the flowers not all the way around? Like, but it is stunning, and we got all of this goodies going on, and I really want to read it, but I also really want to reread Carry On before I read it, so I'm a little bit like, what should I do about that? So what I decided to do is, I've heard people talk about the read a chapter challenge sort of thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first page or the first chapter in all 3 of these books, and then I'm going to pick what my next read is going to be while I'm also reading The Sisters Grimm. So this is Great Goddesses by Nikita Gill. Nikita Gill is a modern feminist poet. She has written, I think, 3 or 4 poetry books, and this is her 2nd book, which I believe is more like short stories. She also wrote Fierce Fairy Tales, and it's basically, this is all about like Greek goddesses, and she's like done art in here, and it's stunning, stunning, stunning. And I think I spoke about this in my 20 years of reading as well, because I mentioned Nikita Gill because she's my favorite. Also, it's orange underneath, and it's so cute, and I love a good burnt orange. Last but not least, I really want to read Lady Hotspur by Tessa Gratton, which is also in one of my 2020 most anticipated releases, which I will link down below, which was my first video, and I'm still rather proud of it, but at the same time I also want to redo it. But anyway, I am gonna read the first page of all 3 of these books, and then I am gonna read one of them, hopefully, due to a lot of reading. Also, I got a book mail. I am so stoked. Okay, so basically, I don't get physical ARCs from publishers yet. Here's the hope, hope. But I have found out that I do a lot of selling and trading, and I do have some physical ARCs from either giveaways or from Yalk last year, which I'm going to again next year, and I'm so pumped. But I did do a swap with a girl from the US the other week, and I'm so excited. You guys don't understand how much I wanted to read these 2 books, and I'm like, I can't. Are you ready? Oh, it's Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, and I'm like, I can die happy now. Like, honestly, this is nearly making me want to cry. Look at my little murder child. Oh, she's so beautiful, and like literally, I think I've spoken about Gideon the Ninth is in all of my movies. What? all my videos by now, but it is literally just stunning. But Gideon is basically a sassy little lesbian bitch who all she wants to do is run around and like chop things up with her giant sword. And just, I love her so much. There is a lot of information dumping in the first book, and I am always a little bit like, when I started reading it, and I read it because it was in the Illumicrate box, and I'm so stoked that it was. And literally, I cannot wait for this book to come out. And I can't remember when it is, so I'm going to put it down below. Like right here, ding. I also have another book in here. Okay, and I'm also very excited about this. Look at it, there's a sword, and we love it, and it is Sword in the Stars. This is the sequel to Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy, who recently got married. They're super cute on Instagram if you don't follow them. They are a queer couple. I believe one of them is non-binary, maybe. Anyways, Once and Future is a gender-bent retelling of the legend of King Arthur and Merlin and Excalibur, and it's set in space, and there's so much great representation, and it's very like YA. It reads very young in some instances, even though it does have aspects of sex in it. But I'm super pumped for the fact that I could get my hands on this, and I'm just like, look at their beauty. I'm loving the fact that I sat down and was like, I'm gonna read one of these 3 books, and all I want to read is Harrow the Ninth. Let's see how the next couple of days go. So guess who, instead of reading, decided to retake one of my videos that I was trying to edit because I didn't like it, and now I don't know if I like the original better, but this is now handheld. If it is shaky, I am sorry. I am going to try and do the first page reading thing that I mentioned. Obviously Harrow the Ninth have snuck in here because, let's be honest, all I want to read is her and maybe Lady Hotspur. I'm not sure. Here we're gonna go. How do you pick what to read? How do you do it? Let's go. I can't pick. Good morning, dear. It is Thursday, and I am not fit for human consumption yet, which is why we got coffee. You're also seeing me without makeup on, which is delightful, and how I live most of my life. Ish. And Einstein here. Hello. Vlogging is hard. Okay, so last night I read a chapter in each of Wayward Son, Lady Hotspur, and Harrow the Ninth, and I ended up continuing with Harrow the Ninth, but I do want to almost have a reread of Gideon, which is hard, and I'm a little bit like, do I really need to? Because I think it's also one of those books where you just sort of have to like power through, because there's so much information and there's so much that isn't entirely explained or doesn't quite make sense. But I had that with Gideon as well, and if you just continue reading, you will get there in the end. But I need to go to work in about half an hour, and I am gonna go see my best friend afterwards, and then I will come back and hopefully vlog some more tonight. But See you later, team. I love coffee, 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 coffee. It's Saturday. Somehow I lost 2 days. I barely did any reading, but I have done stuff today. I went to the gym. I did some videos that I'm not sure if I like or not, so I may have to redo them tomorrow. And I finished The Sisters Grimm by Mene van Praag. And I didn't like it. And I'm sad about it because like the synopsis of it is like 4 girls who are sisters and they are born from like a dark edge of their sire, and there's like magic and this place called Elsewhere, and they have elemental powers, and it just, the first like 3 chapters are like, yes, moving forward, powering through, and then like you keep switching point of view between these 4 girls who are all like consistently different, and but I feel like they're very like classic. So there's Scarlet, who has fire powers and she's a redhead, but we also have Goldie, who is supposedly like the main one. So it's this weird setup as well, because she is like, it's first point of view for her, but then there's the bits that's about Elsewhere, which is written in like second point of view, and then everything else is in third point of view, and I'm just very confused about who we're supposed to be reading. And it might be easier if it was in a book, because then it will be like chopped up properly, but it's just, I felt like the plot went nowhere. We get told the same thing over and over and over again. And it's just like, I gave it 2 stars, but right now when I'm talking about it, I'm almost at like a 1, because it's just making me annoyed. But then there's also some abuse, and like that came out of nowhere and then didn't really mean anything. And I'm sorry, but I don't really need sexual assault and like towards women for no reason in fantasy. I don't want it in fantasy anyway at all, because I'm like, can we find another way of like scarring your like characters? And I'm annoyed. But other than that, I finished it. Hooray, which means I can now read something else. Thank fucking God. And also on the way back from the gym, I went into the bookshop that is basically underneath my house, which is a charity bookshop, and I got some books. I got 5 books for a tenner. That's so good, okay? And they are hiding right over here. Hello! This is the 4 first books in the Red Queen series by Victoria Avery. I can't remember if there's a 5th book or if Warstorm is the last book. I haven't read that. I've read Red Queen, Glass Sword, King's Cage, because I have them on ebook. This is like traditional young adult fantasy with a dystopian setting almost. So the world is split in 2 between reds and silvers are the nobility. They have magical properties and powers, and we have the reds who are like the workforce and don't have magic. And then we have Mare, who is almost being conscripted into the army until she isn't anymore. Something happens and she sort of gets dragged into like silver, like the city, and intrigue, and there's betrayal and love, and people are very divided about whether they like this series or not. I personally rather enjoy it, and I'm very excited about reading Warstorm. And also, look, they're not even broken like the back. I don't even know if anyone has ever actually read any of these, except maybe for the first book. So I'm excited about the fact that they are now mine. And also, I'm really excited about this book because I found it downstairs and I wasn't prepared. And I've been looking at this book from Book Depository for a while. I saw it on someone's Instagram, someone's Bookstagram, like maybe 6 months ago or something like that, and it is blurbed by Tamora Pierce, and if Tamora Pierce says it's good, then I want it. I stamped it, I wanted it. Excuse you, I'm talking here. And I'm super excited. This is a fantasy novel, and I believe, yeah, so we're following Elena, who is apparently the daughter of a rebel who tried to rise against the king, and then she has been raised by the king for the last 14 years and loves him like a dad, and now she's being taken hostage again by her father's right-hand man. It sounds very interesting. I'm super excited, and also this cover is just like beautiful. Also, it's The Waking Land by Kelly Bates, which I did not say. But I'm going to continue reading some Harrow the Ninth. I need to go to a games night with some friends later because I'm trying not to be a giant hermit all the time. I didn't take any book pictures because I don't like any of them, and I don't know how to get myself out of this rut with it. So, see you soon. It's Tuesday, the week after. I have not vlogged, but I did finish Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, which is coming out in June this year. I think it's the 6th. I'm going to put it down below. I have a lot of feelings. I power read this Sunday and yesterday, and I got up really early this morning for zero reason, and I finished it, and I have intense feelings, and I'm so happy, and it's a solid 5-star for me. And I completely understand that some people do not think that this book or Gideon the Ninth is that for them. Like, I know that I've mentioned already what Gideon is about, but just in case not, Gideon the Ninth is a sci-fi dystopian novel about Gideon Nav, who is an orphan who lives in the 9th house. 9 houses are like 9 different planets. They're all necromancy everywhere. Everything is about death and bones, and they have this necroprime god who cannot die, who's like the god, and he basically sends out a call saying that he needs new protectors, who are these lictors, I'm not entirely sure. So the heirs and the strongest people of these houses need to come to this one place and figure out how to become lictors, which are like tests. And Gideon Nav gets stuck into this, and there is some great dynamics. There's so much sass, there's so much grit, everything is dirty, everything is fucking funny, and Harrow is none like the wiser. It's exactly the same. It is weird for the first 150 pages. You don't know what the fuck is going on, but the humor is fun, and the characters are so intense in the same way. But it is also half of the book is written in second point of view, and it's like, it makes sense that it is, but in the beginning it's very jarring. But it's so good, and my heart is so full. And if you read the first book, you know what that fucking ended on. This book is no different. You're gonna feel like crying, you're gonna feel like dying, and then coming back to life and dying again. This book is so weird. It's so hard to get into in the beginning because there's all of that bone talk and space talk, and it's all fucking strange. And then you're in the middle and you can't put it down, and the last 150, 200 pages like literally disappear in a snap, and then it's just like, I cannot wait a whole year to read Alecto the Ninth. I just can't. Okay, I can't. This book is so good, and everything that I needed after Sisters Grimm, and I'm so happy I read it. And I don't know if I can use it for FebruWitchy readathon, but she does mention that she's a bone witch in here, so it could sort of count, maybe. I don't know. I know I need to read something else now, but this book is just so good, and I have so many feelings. I'm now going to rummage around, try not to cry about Harrow, who is like a tiny baby, and Gideon is the best. If I don't video anything tomorrow, then I'm going to finish this here. So thank you very much for watching. My name is Monique. This is Bookwitch Reviews. This is my first ever vlog. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. I might do another one. Please hit that subscribe button. I love all of you very much. And I hope to have another video out later this week. If you want to look up my FebruWitchy readathon TBR, it's down below. And thank you so much for being you. Goodbye. This is my giant couch. Yes, I am wearing the biggest sweater you can possibly find because I am a comfort hog. Okay, continuing on. Why do this? It's like I'm not a nun, Monique. It's not like I'm going, oh, light circle.